Alrighty, what up, Sid? They caught me unawares again. Ended 2 minutes early. And I guess I should be ready to go earlier. Sid. Okay, there's the audio, so I guess we'll start. Live from Columbus, OH. This is Ramsey Show After Show. Hope everybody is doing very well today. And I am a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, not just a person that tells people that they're doing it wrong. Certified to do so. You're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney, and right below the Oak Island playlist will be the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, and today is number 550 of those. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist has 138 episodes in there, and there's 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in the music playlist. Singing not my regular job, but maybe you'll like the songs anyway. Market report. Down today so far. Russell Small Cap Index down the most with 1.01%. All right, so I'll have to see how that does throughout the day. Let's see what the rest of the planet looks like. Mostly down in Europe, mostly up in Asia. The US dollar down to the euro, down to the yen, down to the British pound glove, down to the Canadian dollar. They're not sorry. And also down to the Australian dollar, mate. So it's a clean sweep for the against the US dollar. Oh, let's see. Who do we have? Yesterday was the Home Depot. Why is that so long here? That was yesterday. And yesterday's gone. Okay, they didn't get rid of that. Yep, and still says 9 p.m. incorrectly when apparently that came out at 9 a.m. yesterday. We got the Target and Progressive Insurance, I believe is what that is. And that was 9:30 a.m. Oh, let's see if they announced this already or if this is end of day. Since it doesn't have a time, I'm assuming, as the people say in the UK for some reason, they add the SH in there. I don't know. And they also, instead of tuna, they say tuna for some reason, making the CH sound. People are nutty with talking. Down 4.6%, so people either think it's going to be bad or it was bad. Let's see. They cut sales outlook as retailer blames tariff uncertainty. Well, they all are. They're all doing that. And that's fine. I mean, they should give an estimate of what they think they're actually going to do, and that's fine. And they missed the estimates for the last quarter. Okay, and that would explain why it's down. And that would tariffs, and there's other things as well. Tariffs are not the only thing. The world before tariffs, the world had economic issues before that even. All right, and who do we have? Analog devices, mañana. That means tomorrow in Spanish. Uh, Alphabet up 3.61. So that might help your large cap managed mutual fund. If you have a lot of the Alphabet in there, and that's the company that owns the Google and the YouTube that is hosting me right now, and also Meta up 0.72%. So it's not all of it, not all of the market. Some things are up. What's this other one? Oh, that's Google again. What's down the most? I don't know what. Cassava Sciences. I think that's pharmaceutical, I believe, and that had been going up, but now coming way down. Let's look at the news. Certified to say stop being stupid. Yup, you right, Trey. How did you use here? Mama call him Trey, Daddy call him Trey, I call him Trey. Tariff relief rally fades. USA Today remark Walmart's response to Trump's directive to eat the tariffs. And who was it? Home Depot said that they were going to do that. So apparently some companies can do that and still stay in business. And the Walmarts probably say, no, we want to make the same amount of money. Which is fine because it's their business. From the Guardian, United Health secretly paid nursing homes to reduce hospital transfers. That probably wasn't a good idea to do that, if that happened. CNN, the 10 richest Americans got $365 billion richer in the past year. Now they're on the verge of a huge tax cut. All right. And can we do anything about that? No, we can't. You can just vote out the people that vote for that if you don't like it. But other than that, we can't. Bloomberg outage hits traders, disrupts government bond auctions. All right, you don't like to see that happen for any financial institution like that. Having outages, and of course, I don't like it when it happens to me either. NPR, National Public Radio, says real estate agent commissions too high? Question mark. Flat fee brokers offer an alternative. All right. I'm sure some of them might be getting paid too much as well. They might be having a high flat fee. Could be. Medtronic announces intent to separate diabetes business. Okay. Well, diabetes still happening a lot, so I guess and the more you separate things, the less likely they will call you a monopoly, maybe. Maybe that's to avoid that. CNBC, Toyota redesigns America's top-selling RAV4 SUV to exclusively be a hybrid. Okay, well, again, that's their choice. Would not have advised it, but they did not call me and ask me. So, CNN, are plane close calls and crashes actually increasing? Here's what the data says visualized. Okay. All right. So that, oh, actually, I think we do have some stories as well. The Telegraph. This is UK news, I believe. Worse than Greece, the debt crisis threatening to blow up the global economy. Tremors in Japan's bond market may be a forewarning for a budget-busting financial crunch. Yeah. Got a great idea. Governments of the world, stop borrowing money. Stop it. All the country governments need to get on the Ramsey plan, do the baby steps. The Wall Street Journal, streamers are finally making money for consumers. It's getting messier. Media companies are seeing financial bright spots in their streaming businesses, but navigating the options is still tough for consumers. How? Because it's just too many different ones. And like all of them will have different shows that you want to watch. There's Ellie from The Last of Us, Bella Ramsey right there. And this actress, Genevieve O'Reilly, is Mon Mothma in Andor. It was a great series as well, now over. But yeah, you cannot have everything still. So I don't know what this would be, and we can't read the whole thing because it's Wall Street Journal, and I don't have a subscription to it. Sorry. But that's the only thing I can think of about it getting messier, and navigating the options still tough for consumers just because there's so many of them, I guess. Um, and from Sid News, blessed work shower this morning. Only got 5 hours sleep last night. Now I need to figure out what to do with this cash. I am sure, Sid, that you will do something very good with it. Excellent. All right, let's do some questions. As teased yesterday, Intellectual 132 says, should I pay an extra $600 toward my 2.62% adjustable rate mortgage, or put it in a 4.4% high yield savings account? So again, we look and see where we are. Oh, that's right. We're not just on some financial bro website or some kind of other public forum. No, well, this is the Dave Ramsey subreddit. Now, it's not run by Ramsey Solutions, it's run by fans, but it is the Dave Ramsey subreddit. And so, but people come on here and ask about one advice that's not Dave's advice all the time. And they get it. They get it too. 88 comments here. And people probably told him, both said, no, why would you do that? Because you do want to make that. What did I figure this out yesterday? What was it? 1.3 um 8 7 7 1.72, right? No, 1.82. Okay, the one, yeah, 1.82%. So less than 2%. And so you're debt leveraging your mortgage, which you should not have an adjustable rate mortgage anyway. And also, if it's a 30-year mortgage, you should not have that anyway. You're doing it wrong. But let's just go ahead and read it and see what all kinds of things that don't have anything to do with the question. Should you debt leverage to make the extra 1.82%? And that would be a no from Mr. Ramsey. You do not do that. You do not have extra savings beyond the full emergency fund and sinking funds that you may need in order to have a high yield savings account to try to make extra interest money instead of paying off the house. So that's step 6. This kind of dumb crap would be in step 7, where you would have a high yield savings account that is not a particular sinking fund. Let's see. It started with 500,000 mortgage at 2.6. It's a 7-to-1 arm that will reset in 27. Current mortgage balance is around $200,000. Okay, so I've been paying it off. I've been debating whether to put an extra $600 each month toward the principal or invest that money in a high yield savings account that currently earns 4.4%, and that's currently, so that could go down as well, and then you would be making even less per month. At first, the high yield savings account seemed like the obvious choice because the rate is higher and the money stays liquid. But after digging into the math, I realized the effective return on extra principal payments might actually be higher. Really? Imagine that. Since mortgage interest is front loaded, such extra payments reduces the balance sooner and save. Indeed. So you figured it out. And that's the Ramsey advice anyway. Regardless of the math involved. And so, but this time the math is actually in Dave's favor as well. So that would seem like a slam dunk on that. And at that point, now once you've done that math, do you still need to get average people on the internet's opinion on it? That's nutty to me. Paying down auto loan, Glass Lab 2694. Do you pay your loan down faster if you pay 300 a week, or your regular payment of 600 and another 600 principal only payment? Again, it depends on. I think I said this yesterday too. It depends if they include all the interest. Sometimes they on auto loans and mortgages too. They can lock in the interest so that you have to pay it off, all the interest, even if you do not take the whole time to pay. Even if you pay it off early, you still have to pay that as a fee or something. Boo doo doo. Trade doesn't get why people think playing in between 1 to 2% is going to make a difference in earnings versus mortgage rate. Yeah, they're just nutty. People are just nutty. We've determined that. There's no doubt on that part as much. That much is certain. I get completely out of debt. Then you can take what was your mortgage payment, dump it into savings, just supercharge savings. Exactly. I'll say that as a question. Should we get a month ahead on our mortgage so that we can start making a half payment every other week when I get paid before we kick baby step 4 into full gear? Trey says that's not a bad idea. I don't have any problem with that, Sid. And my problem with you is that it's not a problem, but my as far as answering the question with you, I trust you. Unlike all these people on the internet, unlike the average person, which you cannot trust them as far as you can throw them. And you know, with your bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't throw anybody. That's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Clarification around baby steps. Okay, and it's a long post too, not that long. But let's see what the confusion is here, and it's baby steps are very simple. The Ramsey advice is very simple. People misinterpret them incorrectly all the time, though. A lot of times just because they interpret it the way that it lets them do what they want to do, which is often doing it wrong. Recently paid down all of my credit cards and I'm switching over my subscriptions to my debit card, spending thousands more per year for $400 in rewards just wasn't worth it. Indeed. So you got that part. You understand that part. Good job. Also increased my retirement contribution to 15%. Okay, understands that part. I'm single, no kids, and I rent. I'm pretty frugal and I save money, but it happens more on accident. People are dumb. I don't know when the on accident happened. And, you know, people say on accident because of it being the opposite of on purpose. So people thought it was interchangeable and then they just started. It's by accident and on purpose. And so, again, we don't hear by purpose incorrectly a lot. So why did just on accident? And so I feel like for me, I think probably the first time that I really noticed this, Chris Pratt said it on Parks and Rec. And I was like, what? Anyway, more on accident than on purpose. How can saving money happen by accident? It would seem that you would, I mean, I guess you can just, I mean, if spending is not important to you or not something that you just do willy-nilly unless you are purposely saying, "Oh, I don't want to spend this. It would be better if I didn't spend this." If you don't have that conversation with yourself, that thought process, but also don't end up spending the money anyway, I mean, that could happen with a person. So, all right. Let's see. I don't know. So it doesn't matter either way. It still happens for the good. So I guess you don't have to worry about it. But thinking about it and being mindful is good though, because in case it happens that you change someday and then you do think about, oh, I'm going to spend some money that I shouldn't spend. And then you remember, oh, I just said that I shouldn't spend, so I won't spend it. I don't owe any money currently, and so what we do here is part of baby step 0 is you decide you're going to pay off your dumbass debt, and you don't ever get into dumbass debt other than for a mortgage and for a house that you actually live in. No mortgages on rental properties, no debt of any kind on business at all. Where are we at? And have well in excess of my 6-month emergency fund. Should not have, well, okay, in sounds like step 7, so yes, you can have excess of a 6-month emergency fund. You can have all the savings you want to, is fine if you want to stay a renter. Otherwise, I mean, the savings could be for an eventual down payment as well. Have some questions that I would greatly appreciate having answered. I want to own a home and have at least one child, but I'm waiting to meet Ms. Wright. Yeah, you probably do want to meet Ms. Wright first, and then have the child. Probably can always adopt on your own as well. So my money is free for the next few years. Now that I have my 6-month fund, do I invest the remainder into the stock categories? That would be mutual fund categories. And you can do that if you don't need it for 5 years. If you think you might need the money in less than 5 years, then you should just stick with a high yield savings account instead of putting it in the market. Because you do not, the reason is because in less than 5 years, the market has a better chance of being down right when you need the freaking money. So that would be a no. You have to have at least a 5-year time span in order to use the market for a piggy bank. What is the current recommended stock spread? Fund picks. All right. That's not clarification around the baby steps. That's you wanting somebody to tell you what to invest in. And how much of your paycheck should you be saving? Well, you should be putting the 15%, which you are doing. And other than that, you save for goals. You save for any sinking funds that you have for known upcoming expenses. You save for anything you budget, like a vacation. Anything that you can't just cash flow out of your income. But there's not a percentage of, oh, save this much. And so that's up to you, and it depends on your goals at the time. But generally, you would at least have all your savings in a high yield savings account. Because you don't know. You don't know when this time frame is, and so it could be less than five years. But the current recommended stock spread fund picks, the advice is a 4-way split of, and my question would be, what do you have it in now? That would be the question I would ask this person if I were actually coaching the person. But it is a 4-way split into small, mid, large cap, and international managed mutual funds that beat those indexes. Alrighty, and of course, people always wanting, tell me the good ones so I don't have to do the research myself or pay somebody to do that. Bo, 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 bo. Trey says, hey, bro. Sometimes it happens backwards, bro. LOL. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. It might have been something that I was saying in this question, maybe. Oh, maybe about the guy that is pretty frugal and it saves money. It happens more on accident. It's by accident. Flip flops 81 every dollar app. Where's it at? Let's see. Anyone have constant issues where the app will import transactions that you already assigned? Every few days, I have to go in and delete a bunch of transactions that were already imported. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know why it would pull in something that was already pulled in. Unless it depends on how your bank does it. Like, for example, if it's a restaurant, especially something like that, um, it could be as a pending debit for one amount, but then the actual full amount with the tip would be a different amount, and it could have two on there temporarily. So it's possible. Or it could have the one and then it gets replaced by the permanent one. And so that could be something like that you're dealing with there. But otherwise, I wouldn't think it would. And those, of course, would have different signature numbers, different well, it'd be a different total, of course, and it also have different transaction numbers. So I feel like for me that every dollar in the bank both would just think they would actually be two different transactions. And then the other one that was pending that just goes away. Um, what should be my plan to tackle my 21K credit card debt to pay it off? How about that? Baby step two. How about we pay it off? That's what I would think. Yeah, Mr. Ramsey as well. So if you have more savings than $1,000, guess where that's money? Just guess where that money's going to. You won't believe this, but that money goes to your 21K credit card debt. Let's see, male 35. Have three cards maxed out at 7K each and paying around 700 in minimum payment every month. Not advised to do credit cards. I recently saved up around 5K, dumb, and have about 1K after all expenses are paid each month. Dumb, dumb to save 5K. You're on the Ramsey subreddit. Got a great idea. Be familiar with Ramsey enough to know that he has baby steps and read them. And it says $1,000. It doesn't say save up $5,000, does it? It does not. I'll help you out in case you can't handle it. I have about 1K after all expenses each month. Okay, then why aren't you putting all 1K towards it every month? I have no other emergency funds or savings other than 401K, right? And that's fine. You don't touch 401K, and you only have $1,000 in savings. What's the problem? How should I tackle these balances and also have funds for emergencies? Thanks. Your starter emergency fund is $1,000. You don't get to have a full emergency fund and still step three, unless you're gonna do it your dumbass way, which the credit card debt is your dumbass way as well. So, good luck. But it is clearly explained in the baby steps. And so, and of course, how you pay off anything is you do not spend money on anything else. Obviously, you have to do the 100% necessities that is allowed, but the other stuff you don't spend money on. Things that are optional, you don't spend money on while you're paying off debt and saving up the full emergency fund. But again, you don't do that at the same time. And the person could be looking at the steps and saying, well, I got to do all at the same time. So I got to save $1,000. So I have that because I have $5,000. Great. I got to pay off my debt. Okay, I'm working on that. And then they don't stop there saying, oh, well, I haven't finished that yet. Let me go ahead and read more. And it's fine to read more for the future, but some people read more and think they qualify for that step right now. Grow your $1,000 in savings in 3 to 6 months. Okay, I don't have 3 to 6 months, but I do have my 5,000, so I'm working on that too. And then they say investing, and I'm working on that too. You're doing it wrong. Steps 1, 2, 3 in order, one at a time, and without even thinking about higher steps. That's a NAR, steps 4, 5, 6, all at the same time. And so giving people a little bit of break on that because it doesn't say that on here. But by default, or by purpose, people should you should, when you see a list, it's do this first and then the second one and then the third one, right? That should be, I would think, would be default instead of, okay, well, I'll do all of these at the same time. But people are nutty, as we know. Skives, could it be skis? Might be skives, I don't know. Asking for money. How do you guys deal with people you know asking for money on a GoFundMe when they had their house burned down in a fire? You can help them out if you want to. If not, you say nar if you have to talk to them personally. But let's see, seems like they didn't have an emergency fund to be able to buy some clothes and other things they may need. Mind you, these people have decent paying jobs. Well, that's up to you. You don't have to, it's not a law. You don't have to give people money. And I would have, so people you know asking for money, them sending you a GoFundMe link, I wouldn't consider that being people I know asking for money. If they just send it to everybody they know, that's fine. Some people will not appreciate just being put on a, being sent the same thing everybody else does in a mass email. Some people won't appreciate that, but it's not really personal if they just send you an email link for that. That's fine. If they actually tell you, hey, I would like money from you so I can do whatever with it. My house just burned down, dog. So can you help out? Then you say, if you don't want to, you say no. So if you want to help them out, you help them out. I don't understand the question. I don't understand what there would be, what the issue would be here. Are you trying to say how you get out of it? Then you just don't do it. You just say no. But I don't like confrontation or anything like that. Tough crap. Be an adult. You gotta be an adult sometimes. So I have no idea what the subtext behind that is. Who knows? Lurking Texan. Trey's not a lurking Texan. He's a non-lurker because he actually puts stuff in the chat. Friend has foreclosure happening, going up for auction estate. Okay, and this affects you how? My friend in Houston came back to take care of her mother who has cancer and passed away. She was basically left everything in a handwritten will. All right. She got notice they will be auctioning the house next month. We understand probate can slow it down. Yes, it can. And give her time to sell the property. Okay. Problem is she has no money but can't find a lawyer to help. Only one offered for $8,000 up front. Is there anyone that helps an individual file a probate in order to stop the foreclosures for free? Not that I'm aware of. You can, if you have a church, if you're part of a church, you can inquire with the church to see if they have any connections for any legal connections like that, or you can ask friends or family. But I don't know that there's anybody that will do that for free and then maybe get paid later, that kind of thing. She lives in the home, by the way. Okay. She's in a very delicate situation. I'm financially strapped and have health issues after losing my wife as well. Okay, right. So you can't do anything about it. Any help or direction is appreciated. Time is of the most importance. All right. And so you got 5 comments there. But yeah, you just check with your. I don't think that the city would have any free legal help like that as well. But again, church and your family and friends, and she can ask her family and friends as well. Stucco Gecko just paid off my student loans, paid off $17,000 this year. Feels like for me a huge weight off my shoulders. I graduated with around 33K in student loans, but due to deferment and income-based payments, I probably paid back closer to 48K overall. Yeah, that's how loans work. That's how loans work. Luckily, I'm using my college degree in my profession and have reached a six-figure salary. Right, and the problem is that everybody thinks that's how their post-college life is going to be like. And you got what people tell themselves. Everybody tells themselves this when they take out the student loans, and so it won't be a problem. But the problem is that not everybody graduates, for one, and even if they do graduate, they might have picked a sucky field and can't make that much money. And so they're paying off student loans for a long time. Where bonuses allowing me to knock out the debts quickly. Great. I'm using my next paycheck to get rid of a small 1K credit card debt, and then I will truly be debt free. Great. Allowing me to lock which is allowing me, so you're not debt free then if you haven't done that. Baby step 2, flare. So this is actually not correct. If you still have the student loans, you're not truly debt free yet, but you will be. But yeah, after you pay both of those off, you will be. But just the phrasing here is what's getting me on that. Sid doesn't have the energy to chat more. Oh, you chatted some, Sid. It's fine. It's fine. The trade thing wasn't a dig at you. General Quail, 2120. Wife and I not in agreement on finances. Okay, the short answer is always communicate, compromise. And if you can't do either of those two things, if you can't do both of them, in fact, should be able to do both of them. If you can't, counseling. Time for counseling. Let's see what's going on. A lot of stuff not necessary, but that's common. Baby step 2, flare. Okay. So one of them wants to pay it off and one of them wants to keep doing more debt, probably. Let's see. So my wife recently got a settlement from a car accident. Oh, did I read this one already? She okay, thankfully. And it was about $6,000 after everything was said and done. All right. Doesn't explain anything. You mean after replacing car or after lawyer fees or something like that? Everything is said and done. All right. I wanted to start tackling our finances, but you didn't get the check, did you? The check is for your wife. I moved $1,000 to, oh, so you get to move the money. Okay. Moved $1,000 to a separate account for an emergency fund. So we got baby step 1 done. No, we didn't do it. You did it. You moved that over there. I mean, the money came from something that happened to her, though. But you're the one that moved that over there and decided that. Then my wife paid off all of her credit cards. Great. Not her personal loan or my debt yet. Okay. She now is going back to our old bad habits. And wants to start spending again, of course. Okay. I mean, that's very normal. And sometimes it can be the man that doesn't want to pay off debt. And I just can't do it anymore. Okay. Well, if it's a deal breaker, again, that would be something that you have to work out in counseling. She doesn't want to work as a team and keep paying the rest of our debt or budget. She may want to work as a team, but she just doesn't want to pay the rest of the debt or budget. So she may not have a problem working as a team, but the team will not be doing this. Following the Ramsey advice, basically. We were constantly going into the negative in our checking, and I don't want to do it anymore. Okay. Well, you may have to get a divorce in order for that not to happen anymore. We have 2 kids, and we need to take care of them by being financially responsible. I'm with you. I agree that that's exactly the thing that you should do. But guess what? Wifey gets a vote when it's the two of you. You don't just get to decide, okay, this is the best thing, and which I agree with you, it is, but you don't get to just say, oh, this needs to happen. And people are nutty, as we all know, and they think just because that it sounds good, which it does, and that it's proven advice, which it is, and that I agree with you, none of that matters. She does get a vote, and so you can't make her do this, and there's no way to work around a spouse like this. You cannot work around her. So you have to, again, communicate, compromise, and if you can't do those, counseling. Let's see. So I broke and said that I'm putting my paycheck in a separate account because I can't trust her not to waste the money. All right, and we'll have rent soon. I can't keep risking the roof over our heads each month. I don't want to have a separate account. It makes me feel crummy, but I don't know what to do anymore. She simply won't work with me. You got to go to counseling. And so if she won't work with you, now, see, the problem is, again, we've established people are nutty, right? Sometimes people say dumb crap like she simply won't work with me, when the case is actually she will work with you, but she just will not agree to do exactly what you want her to do. And so that's the problem here. Interpersonal relationships, man. I am not certified in counseling, for sure. But people are nutty. And again, I completely agree that this is the best, that would be the best thing for their finances, just like this person does. But this person says, I'm right and this is the right way, and I can't live with anything else. Well, that is up to you, and you can get divorced. Again, if it's a deal breaker, you can do that. I wanted to add that I'm not preventing her from having any extra money, just that my paycheck will go. Somebody must have given him some flack in the comments. Just that my paycheck will go into another account. After everything is paid, I can put the money in a joint account. She also has a job and her own income that I'm not asking her to do anything with. Okay? She doesn't have to pay for anything. You pay for everything? Or is she paying half the rent or mortgage? Can't remember if it was rent or mortgage. And then you pay for everything else. All right, that's nice for her. Update. Part of what I didn't share earlier, yeah, I got a great idea. Share the pertinent details and not so much the things that don't matter, which is a lot of what you typed there. What I didn't share earlier is that my wife had left the house and went for a drive. She talked with my aunt. She's a good role model for my wife and me too, and there was some reason spoken to my wife. Okay. Made some mistakes too, but my wife was much more willing to listen when she came home a few hours later. Okay. She listened to me and my desire to be debt free. I listened to her about how she felt as well and what she wanted. Sat down and made a game plan. Imagine that together. All right, so you just didn't. So basically, before a nice long discussion with her, you just went to Reddit first, which you should have had the nice long discussion with her first, instead of going to Reddit at all. We're gonna work great. Work together, bring our finances to a better place before we get a car, which is really what this is all about. Okay. She agreed that rolling negative equity into a car loan is just bad. A car loan at all is bad. We're going to continue the baby steps, but I guess me wanting to separate our account really made her realize that I'm serious. Okay. It's not I wanted that to happen, but good results. Oh, I guess. Okay. Don't recommend that except for a nuclear option if desperately needed. Thanks to everyone who offered help. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that either. That you just did without having a nice long discussion with her, just deciding, okay, well, she's not going to do that, so I'm going to impulsively put my money in a different account. That's dumb as crap, sir. People are nutty, so nutty, so nutty, so nutty. Backwards comment and baby when we're about having a kid and still looking for Ms. Right. Oh, okay. I got you. Got you, Trey. Benjamin 202D, 2002D, maybe. Debt free. Today I became debt free with the final payment on my home loan. It took 19 years, lots of extra work, and a commitment that I wasn't sure I had. Well, good job. We didn't take many vacations and ate at home much more often than not. Great. And that's how that happens. Again, how do I pay my house off in 19 years? I mean, shouldn't have had the 30-year mortgage in the first place or anything longer than a 15. So you did it wrong, but it's done now and you paid it off. So great. Drove cars until they turned to dust. I'm thinking that's hyperbole there and not the actual case. Swept it into a pile and drove them some more. Okay, I see what you're doing. Very nice writing there. It was a lot of work, but with God's grace, here we are. I listened to Dave in the late 90s, me too, and went through Financial Peace. I remember his advice, Financial Peace University. I remember his advice when someone paid off their house. Go walk in the backyard barefoot, it'll feel different. I haven't done it yet, but I definitely will. There were ups and downs along with financial potholes. Several times I had lump sums of cash come. Lump sums of cash come in, and each time I put those in long-term savings, and that was dumb as crap. That was not the Ramsey advice. I had a great interest rate and just kept hammering until it submitted after selling a business, plus saving and some inheritance. We have over $1 million in liquid excess. I'm cutting back on my work schedule immediately. My wife will retire in 2 weeks. Teacher, pre-planned. Our hope is to do some formal mission work. Great. I wanted to post here with the hope that someone might be encouraged by our story. Our household income has never been broken much above 100K. We raised 2 kids and now 2 beautiful granddaughters that live with us. God is good. If I can do it, I know you can. Great. Focus Forge. Is this a smart plan? Well, is it the Ramsey advice? If it's not, it's probably not going to be a smart plan. Good morning, everybody. I am on baby step 2, and here is my current list from, let's see if it's a nice ordered list here. It is. It's almost like I've done this before. What up, Misty Bikini? How's life and stuff? Yes, early. The Ramsey show is now 9 a.m. to 10:27 a.m. Eastern time, or sometimes they end early like they did today, 10:25. But yeah, 9 a.m. Eastern is the new start time for the YouTube video of the Ramsey show. And so now I'm right on right after that. On baby step 2, and here's my current list from smallest to largest. Visa $5,300, personal loan $14,000, Honda Accord $19,000, a Subaru Ascent $31,000. So here's what we could do. We could sell one or both of the cars, and then you buy a beater, and then you can relocate some of your debt immediately to a 0 or a much lower number than 31,000 and 19,000. I'm starting baby step 2 the right way today. Okay, did you do it the wrong way previously? Instead of immediately going hard at the credit card, I thought it would be a good idea to save up a few thousand and buy a cash car, then sell my Honda Accord. That's fine. You could also borrow the few thousand. Depends on how fast it will take you to save up a few thousand to buy a cash car. You could also borrow that and make it happen immediately, because Mr. Ramsey is fine with you taking out a $2,000 loan that will get rid of a $19,000 loan. That's a $17,000 in less debt you'll have if you do that. And so that's why he allows that to happen. That's the only time that a mortgage in a house that you live in, and borrowing a lower amount to get rid of a higher loan. I check the value and I see that I could get very close to what I owe on it. Yeah, I was wondering what you guys think of this plan. Yeah, that's fine. Again, you can wait and save, or you can borrow that money. Of course, after I sell the car and buy one in cash, I would take all the extra cash flow and put it towards the next smallest debt. Yep, and that's a good way to do it. Why can't we sell the Subaru Ascent? What, you have your different levels of Ramsey-ishness, of Ramsey-ness, in couples, and wife maybe likes her Subaru Ascent and wants to keep it. And that's fine if you can pay it off in 3 years. You can pay off all this non-mortgage debt in 3 years. That's fine, but if it doesn't have to take you, if you can get rid of the cars and be done in faster than 3 years, then that would make your finances better. But it is your choice, of course. And so a smart plan, yeah, I gave you some ideas that would make it even smarter. Wicked smart. Still in probate, so not able to do a proper budget until after that's over. Hope to have it over by next year. I sure do miss him. I'm sure you do, Misty. A2 Squirter. Alrighty then. Should I sell my dream truck? Yes. When people ask, that generally means they probably should. So I'm 29 years old, debt free, and have 6 months of expenses saved up in my emergency fund. Is there a loan on the truck? I currently make about $63,000 a year with good potential for yearly bonuses up to $10,000. I have not started saving for retirement yet, nor have I even thought about saving for a house, though I know both goals are obtainable with my current financial situation. Okay, great. A few years ago, I bought my dream truck brand new. It cost me $41,000, $18,000 of which was shaved off by trading in my old SUV. Okay, then I paid the difference in cash. Great. I love this truck. I'm not exaggerating when I say it is my dream truck. I find that on one end, I'm still shocked that I even own the truck to begin with. Irrelevant. But on the, I mean, you can stop when you say I love the truck and it's my calling it the dream truck. I got it. I got the bit. So you don't need to keep pushing that. I'm still shocked I even own this truck to begin with, but on the other hand, I feel guilty in a sense for even considering selling the very truck I spent years saving for. Well, it's dumb to put that much money in a vehicle. The problem is that the longer I own this truck, the more I see a pile of cash just sitting in my driveway, and the less I see my dream truck. Yeah. Oh, it's rough growing up. It's rough growing up, man. So I get it. When they hit that age of 29, and they grow up and they become an adult, and they don't see, oh, look, I got my toy. And then they just think about how much it costs. Yeah, that's going to happen. It feels like, for me, the gap between my current financial situation and the value of my truck is far too large. Okay? My love for the truck is still there, but my gut tells me that I'd be so much better off selling it and buying a cheap truck. Yep, then using the rest to max out my retirement so that I can attempt to catch up on the years I lost on investing. After that, I could put the rest in a high yield savings CD so that I can start saving for a house. Yep. For the record, I either need a truck or cargo van for my lifestyle. So cannot settle for a car or an SUV. What lifestyle is this? Is this a thing where you go camping twice a year because you can rent a truck for that? People are so dumb about this stuff and they exaggerate. For my lifestyle. Now, if you are using it every weekend, then that's a different thing. But it just depends. People tend to exaggerate their little crap that they do. Oh, and some people, they got contentious. It got locked. I didn't notice the lock right there. Must have gotten crazy in the comments there. Where are we? For the record, I did read that already. My truck is currently worth $37,000 on Carvana, and even more if I sell it to private party, which you should always sell to private party for that very reason. If I were to sell it and buy a cheaper truck, I'd be left over with about $20,000. I guess that's where I struggle to justify selling this truck. Is that $20,000 to jump my finances worth losing the truck? You were the one that said you're behind on retirement. What's more important to you? You're an adult. You get to decide what's more important to you. Am I overthinking this? Probably. I probably am. Yeah. Has anyone else ever found themselves in a similar situation before? Any advice is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much in advance. What did we say? $63,000 a year. So you, if that's your only vehicle, and you don't have any boats or sea-doos or any dumb crap like that, anything, if your total things if that's all of your total things that have motors and wheels on it, then you can have, 31,500 tied up in that. Now it's $41,000, but it's not worth that right now. It's only, what do we say, 37. So that's a little bit more than Dave would tell you to have invested in it. By like what? I can do the math. Hold on, 5.5. No, 6.5. All right, 30. Yeah, $6.5 thousand. Too much. So that's why you are feeling that, because that's too much to be having an asset that is depreciating like that truck is. And so that's too much compared to your income. Now, if you include the bonus, and the bonus definitely happening 100% for sure, so that'd be 73. That would give you probably the wiggle room, more of the, you'd be like right there, a little bit short, I think, but you'd be right there with it. So, but that's the dealio on that. And your finances will be better off if you sell your dream truck. So you need to make the decision on that, sir. Righty, this is what we got. Lower Dance 8826. Baby step. Baby step what? So let's find out what baby step they're on, since they can't figure it out, I guess. Can't figure it out. Why isn't that? Oh, because I opened the whole one. That's why I can't see the baby steps on it. All right, hello, hi guys. Background: starting Ramsey baby steps. I have $1,000 for my starter emergency fund, and my debts are $2,500 for student loans and $11,033 I owe to my dad for helping me out of a jam at the beginning of the year. I'm a single mom living off one income because the father isn't able to find a job. Those are two different things. To pay child support. And I'm currently in the middle of filing for custody. Alrighty. I have a good paying job with opportunity for salary increase and to get a more stable position within the next year or two. And I live at home with my parents until I can get back on my feet. Student loan is in Canada. Sorry. So I was able to pause interest because I am a supply teacher, and I can continue to pause the interest rate until I'm able to get a permanent position. Question: my lawyer fees are unpredictable. That will happen because it depends on whether the father of my child will contest or sign the agreement. Yep. On the low end, it could be $2,500. On the high end, one day of court is $7,000 a day. And if it doesn't go to court, it would be 3 days, so $21,000. I've already paid $2,500 retainer fee, so if the agreement is signed, then I won't have to pay anything else. So we hope that father of your child, the baby daddy, will be agreeable, but may not be. Because a lot of times when relationships break up like that, a lot of times one or both parties are not agreeable to anything. I'm not going to be looking at $21,000. I got it. Got the bit. I got the number. Since the father doesn't have a job, I'm not sure how much he would be made to pay. You can't count on anything. So my mindset at the moment is that it will be all me. Yeah. How do I fit this in the baby steps? The lawyer stuff is a known upcoming expense, so you can have sinking funds for that. You can have savings for that in the midst of the baby steps. So if you have the $1,000, so you're on step 2 for that debt, the $2,500 and the $11,000 to your dad. But yeah, you can. I know you have the payments on pause or the interest on pause. For the Canadian student loans, as far as your dad, you can see if he will wait until the custody thing is over to be receiving any money for that. So you have to work with him about that. But otherwise, it's fine to do, custody. Obviously, that is a big thing, and that would supersede doing baby step 2. In spite of that, you can just pause. You can consider it an emergency situation, even, and pause the baby steps and just pile up cash to pay said lawyer fees. You can think about it like that, where you're just an emergency and just saving up cash. What is it? Stacking cheddar, I believe, is another way to say it. Or you can think about it as a lawyer sinking fund that you're saving. Because it has the exact, and it only goes to that. Don't spend the money on anything else. But that's still, so you would be on, having finished step 1, you are on baby step 2. You're just not doing baby step 2 at the moment because of the custody stuff. All right, let's see what we got for tomorrow. This is coming up tomorrow. Should I go back to school? 26 man. I mean, basically it's up to you, but no student loans, and that's not going to magically fix whatever's wrong with your life, whether it be money or fulfillment or anything like that. That's the short answer on that. Is it better to tackle debt, or can you sacrifice some interest making sure you get your Roth IRA? That's a no. You do not get your Roth IRA. You know when you get your Roth IRA? When you are on step 4. And if you have debt, guess what? You're on step 2, so don't be dumb. Quit being dumb. Quit being dumb. It's spelled out right in the baby steps. Opinions on vehicle. I'm not a car guy, so is this the same one before? 37K? It's not the same name, so, but, yeah. Selling a truck that's worth 37K and buying a cheaper vehicle, that would generally put you ahead financially. So I'm fine with it. if you want to do that. If you like the truck and you don't have payments on it, then I'm fine with you keeping it. Alrighty, once again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. Let's see. Ask for attorney's fees when you are discussing legal matters and any type of cases or legal fees might be covered by the father. Yeah, you can ask. Yeah, absolutely. Good idea. Good idea. Yeah, you can ask for anything like that as part of the stipulations of the custody. Where was I? Oh yeah, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach, and you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That link is in the ticker below. Also in the video description. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com about finances, financial coaching, about anything else on my YouTube channel, anything on your mind. Donation can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money. I'm trying to leave the Cash App. $Coach Steve Money. It wasn't taken. Walmart gift card to the same email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams right now, just the Ramsey show, Aftershow show. I probably will be doing a game stream. Maybe within the next 2 weeks, I'll start that probably. But the Ramsey show, Aftershow show starts at 10:27 a.m. I suppose I should be ready to go at 10:25 because there's been since they have changed to the 9 a.m. start time 3 Mondays ago, so 2.5 weeks ago. Wait, 1 Monday and 2 Mondays and 2.5 weeks ago. Yeah, 2.5 weeks ago. They have ended early, 2 minutes early for some reason. I don't know exactly how that works, other than things getting cut out. So I don't know what that would be, because the time that you are doing the radio show is always constant. The breaks are always at the exact same time. And so all that's pre-planned, so they must be cutting stuff out to end 2 minutes early. So, but I should just be ready to go. Anyway, that is none of you guys' concern. That's like the people on Reddit. I'm the people on Reddit now. I'm nutty, just like the people on Reddit, telling you things that don't have anything to do with this stream. Actually, it kind of does. All right, but anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, 10:27 a.m. Eastern time, and maybe sometimes it'll start a little bit earlier than that. Is the new time for the Ramsey Show Aftershow show. New time for the Ramsey Show is 9 a.m. Eastern time. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and always make smart financial decisions every day.